The night before the national final exam, our class group chat exploded with a file called Final Exam True Tips. 98% accurate. Everyone downloaded it. Everyone except me. I sat alone in the dorm study room, staring at the file preview while my classmates celebrated like they had already won. Bianca Vale, the class belle, sent a voice message into the chat. Don't ask where I got it from. Just trust me. If we all use the same tips, Class A will dominate the rankings tomorrow. Then Rowan, my childhood friend, replied, Iris, don't start lecturing everyone. Just let people breathe for once. In my last life, I did lecture them. I begged them not to trust the tips. I told them the wording looked like an old decoy file used by the exam board to catch cheating groups. No one listened. Bianca cried first. She said I was trying to scare everyone because I wanted first place for myself. Rowan stood beside her and said, Iris, not everything is about you. The whole class used the fake tips. They failed. Some were investigated for memorizing leaked answer patterns. But somehow they blamed me. They said I knew the file was fake and did not stop them hard enough. Bianca said I was the one who leaked it to ruin her. Rowan believed her. My ranking was frozen. My university offer disappeared. My mother worked herself, sick, trying to pay for my appeal. And I died 1 year later holding the rejection letter that said my integrity profile remained under review. But now I was reborn back to the night before the exam, back to the group chat, back to the fake tips. This time, I did not scream. I did not beg. I did not try to save people who had already decided my warning was jealousy. I simply typed one message. The official syllabus is on the exam portal. Use that. They laughed. They downloaded Bianca's file anyway. And the next morning, I watched the entire class walk into the exam hall carrying answers that would destroy them. Chapter 1. When I opened my eyes, I was sitting in the West Dorm study room with a pen in my hand and rain tapping against the windows. For a moment, I thought I was still in the appeal office. The same cold lighting, the same paper smell, the same feeling that my future had been placed behind glass. Then my phone buzzed. The class group chat lit up. Bianca uploaded a file. My heart stopped. No, I unlocked the screen with shaking fingers. There it was. Final exam, true tips, 98% accurate. The file that ruined my life. The file that everyone worshipped for 12 hours before it swallowed them. I looked up from my phone. The study room was exactly as I remembered. Long wooden tables, a vending machine humming in the corner, stacks of practice papers, my old blue cardigan hanging on the back of my chair, and my reflection in the dark window. Iris Lynn, 18, top student of St. Marabella Academy, class representative, scholarship candidate, still alive, still 1 day before the national final. My hand clenched around the pen until the plastic cracked. The door opened. Rowan walked in carrying 2 coffees. For 1 foolish second, my heart reacted before my mind could stop it. Rowan Halliday, my childhood friend, the boy who once sat with me outside the hospital when my mother was admitted for exhaustion. The boy who promised we would both enter Northbridge University and leave our small district behind. The boy who, in my last life, looked me in the eyes during the investigation and said, Iris, if you knew the tips were fake, why didn't you protect everyone? As if I had not screamed myself hoarse. As if his hands had not been the ones covering Bianca's ears while she cried. He placed 1 coffee in front of me. You look awful. I stared at the cup. In my last life, he brought me the same coffee. I drank it while explaining every reason the file was fake. He listened for 10 minutes, then said, You're overthinking again. This time, I pushed the coffee aside that I'm fine. He frowned. You don't look fine. My phone buzzed again. Bianca sent a voice message. Her voice filled the study room before I could lower the volume. Everyone, seriously, don't panic. I compared this with the mock exam structure. It matches perfectly. Just revise these sections tonight, and you'll be safe. Safe. I almost laughed. Bianca Vale had always known how to make danger sound like comfort. She was beautiful in a gentle, expensive way. Soft brown hair, clear skin, big eyes that reddened whenever someone challenged her. Teachers called her emotionally intelligent. Students called her kind. I called her what she was, a girl who could light a match, cry over the smoke, and convince everyone else they had started the fire. Rowan leaned over my shoulder to look at the file. Bianca got exam tips, fake ones. He sighed immediately. There it was. Not concern, not curiosity. Exhaustion, Iris. I looked at him. What? Can you not do this tonight? Do what? Assume the worst. In my last life. That sentence cut me. This time, it clarified the room. He had already chosen his position before hearing mine. Bianca was hopeful. I was negative. Bianca was helping. I was controlling. Bianca was scared. I was selfish. I picked up my notes and placed them into my folder. Rowan watched me. You're not going to say anything in the chat? In my last life, I had typed paragraphs, screenshots, proof, official warnings, exam board notices. I had tagged everyone. I had called the dorm monitor. I had begged Rowan privately. This time, I opened the group chat and typed. The official syllabus is on the exam portal. Use that. I sent it. The reply came almost instantly. There she goes. Class rep mode activated. Iris. Please. We're tired. Bianca is trying to help. Then Bianca replied. Iris is right that the official portal matters. These are just extra tips. Please don't fight because of me. Perfect. So soft. So reasonable. So poisonous. Rowan looked relieved. See. She's not saying ignore the syllabus. I looked at him. Then you should study the syllabus. He rubbed the back of his neck. I will. But if the tips are useful, they're not. His expression tightened. You don't know that. I did. I knew every false prediction in that file. I knew the fake essay themes, the wrong biology pathways, the outdated economic cases, the literature quotes that belonged to excluded texts. And worst of all, I knew the trap phrases. The exam board had seeded this exact file years ago after a tutoring company leak scandal. Students who reproduced certain wording in their answers were automatically flagged for using unauthorized leaked materials. In my last life, I found that out during the investigation. Too late. This time, I simply stood that I'm going to sleep. Rowan blinked. It's not even 10. I have an exam tomorrow. He stared at me like he did not know me. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he had only known the version of me who kept explaining until people forgave themselves for ignoring me. As I reached the door, he said, Bianca thinks you hate her. I paused. The rain slid down the window in silver lines. No. I said, I believe her. Then I left him there with the fake file glowing on the screen. Chapter 2. The dorm hallway was loud with panic, disguised as excitement. Doors open. Students running between rooms. Someone printing Bianca's tips. Someone highlighting them in pink. Someone shouting. Question 3 is definitely the ethics essay. Everyone was relieved. That was the most dangerous part. Fake certainty always felt better than real preparation. I walked to my room and found Nari sitting on my bed. She was not supposed to be there, but Nari treated locks as suggestions and emotional boundaries as mildly inconvenient. She had short black hair, sharp eyes, and the personality of a legal document. You saw the file? She asked, yes. It looks fake. It is. She narrowed her eyes. You're very calm. I'm tired. That is not the same thing. In my last life, Nari had been the only person who believed me during the inquiry. She had said, Iris, warn them. The board asked why she had not backed me louder before the exam. Nari answered, because I thought people with brains would use them. It did not save me, but I remembered. I opened my drawer and pulled out my official syllabus notes. Nari watched. You're not warning them. I did. You sent one sentence. It was accurate. She studied me. For a moment, I thought she saw through everything. The rebirth, the death, the year of appeals, the way my hands still shook when group chats buzzed too loudly. Then she said, "Good." I looked at her. She shrugged. "You warned them." They laughed. Let natural selection handle the rest. Despite myself, I almost smiled. My phone vibrated again. Private message from Bianca. Iris. "Did I upset you?" I stared at it. Then another. "I know you don't like me, but I'm only trying to help the class. Finals are scary for everyone, not just you." There it was. The real purpose. Not to ask. To create a record. In my last life. She sent similar messages, then showed them to everyone later. "See? I tried to be kind." Iris was hostile from the start. This time, I replied carefully that I recommend using the official exam portal and verified teacher materials. "Good luck tomorrow." I screenshotted it. Nari leaned over. Professional. Cold. Devastating. "Thank you." Bianca replied with a crying emoji. Then, "I hope one day you trust people." I put the phone face down. Trust. People loved that word when they wanted you to stop checking facts. Nari stood. "I'm studying in my room." Doors open if the mob comes to burn you as a witch. Comforting. I try. After she left, the room became quiet. I sat at my desk and opened my real notes. The national final covered 5 subjects in one integrated paper: biology, chemistry, literature, civics, and applied ethics. It was designed to punish memorization, reward synthesis, expose shortcuts, exactly the kind of exam fake tips could not survive. My eyes moved across the pages, but memory kept pulling me backward. In my last life, after the class failed, Bianca collapsed in the hallway. Everyone surrounded her. I stood alone with my own completed paper, thinking the truth would be obvious. It was not. The class needed someone to blame. Bianca gave them me. She knew. Bianca sobbed. She kept saying the tips were fake, that if she really cared. Why didn't she show us proof? Rowan held her shoulders and looked at me like I had become something rotten. "Iris," he said, "your class representative. You had a responsibility." Responsibility. The word followed me into the inquiry, into the suspension notice, into my mother's trembling hands, into death. Now I looked at the official syllabus and wrote one sentence at the top of a blank page. I am responsible for my own paper. Then I studied until midnight. Not to beat Bianca, not to save the class, to live. Chapter 3 exam morning arrived clear and cold. The storm had passed overnight, leaving the campus washed silver beneath the early light. In the cafeteria, Class A gathered around Bianca like pilgrims around a saint. Printed copies of the fake tips covered the tables. Students muttered memorized phrases between bites of toast. The ethics essay is definitely collective welfare versus personal ambition. No. Bianca said medical resource allocation. Biology is enzyme cascade. Literature quote from the Winter Orchard. Right? The Winter Orchard was not even on the syllabus this year. I walked past with my tray. The conversation dimmed. Bianca looked up. She wore a pale blue cardigan and a worried expression. "Iris," she said, "did you sleep?" "Yes." Her gaze flicked to my empty hands. "No tips?" "No." A boy named Marcus laughed. "Of course not." Iris would rather die than admit Bianca helped. I end my last life. I snapped back. This time I placed my tray down beside Nari. Nari looked at Marcus. Some people would rather pass than plagiarize a rumor. The table went silent. Bianca's eyes reddened. "Nari, that's unfair. No one is plagiarizing. We're just revising likely areas." Nari opened her yogurt. "Sure." Rowan entered then. He carried a printed copy of the tips. My chest tightened despite everything. Some stupid surviving part of me had hoped. He sat beside Bianca. Not me. She smiled up at him. "Did you review the civic section?" He nodded. "Most of it." Then he looked at me. "Iris, are you really not going to even glance at it?" "No." He frowned. What if you're wrong? What if I was in another life? That question would have terrified me, but I had already seen where their certainty led. I'll take that risk, I said. Bianca lowered her head. I don't want us to fight before the exam. Then stop handing everyone a bomb, I thought, but I only drank my tea. The school bell rang. Students stood. Chairs scraped. Paper tips folded into pockets and clear folders. The exam hall was across campus, inside the old auditorium. As we walked, Bianca slowed until she was beside me. Her voice was soft, Iris. Can I ask you something? No. She blinked. I kept walking. She recovered and followed. Why do you always treat me like I'm trying to hurt you? I stopped beneath the stone archway. Around us, students streamed toward the hall. Rowan turned back, watching. Bianca's eyes were already wet. Perfect timing. I looked at her. Because you ask questions in public that you don't want answered. Her face paled. A few classmates slowed. Rowan stepped closer. Iris. One word. Warning. Familiar. I smiled faintly. Good luck, Bianca. Then I entered the hall. Behind me, she whispered, just loud enough for people to hear. I really did try. Yes, she did. She tried to set the stage. She tried to make my silence look like cruelty. She tried to make her fake tips look like generosity. She did everything except study. Chapter for the exam. Hall smelled like paper, dust, and fear. Rows of desks stretched beneath high windows. Invigilators checked IDs. Phones were sealed. Students sat with pale faces and restless hands. I took seat 17. Bianca sat 2 rows ahead. Rowan sat across the aisle from her. He turned once and looked at me. I looked down at my answer booklet. At 8 o'clock, the chief invigilator said, "Begin." Paper opened. The first section was biology, not enzyme cascade B, not the predicted endocrine question. Instead, compare inflammatory signaling pathways in acute tissue injury and chronic autoimmune response, using one clinical example. A real syllabus question, a synthesis question. Around the hall, I heard the first wave of panic. Pages flipped too fast. Pens paused. Someone exhaled sharply. Bianca did not move for 10 full seconds. Then she began writing. Fast. Too fast. Memorized fast. That was worse than blankness. The fake tips had included a beautiful answer on inflammatory signaling, but it compared the wrong pathways. It used a clinical example from an excluded case study, and it contained one of the trap phrases, immune harmony under systemic recalibration. No normal student wrote that. No official textbook used that. Only the fake leaked file. I picked up my pen and answered properly. Section 2. Civics. The fake tips predicted personal ambition versus collective welfare. The real prompt asked about procedural fairness in public institutions. A few students groaned quietly. Section 3. Literature. No winter orchard. Instead, a comparative analysis of 2 short texts printed in the exam booklet. Students who had memorized quotes were trapped. They had to think. The room filled with the sound of futures cracking. I wrote steadily, not perfectly. I was not a machine. My hand trembled during the ethics section, because the prompt was when does warning become responsibility? And where does individual accountability begin? For a moment, I stared at the page. It felt personal, cool, almost funny. Then I wrote, a warning provides information. Responsibility requires agency. A person who receives a warning and rejects it cannot later transform the ignored warning into another person's guilt. My pen moved faster. In my last life, I had lived that answer. At 11:30, the final bell rang. Pens down. The hall exhaled. Some students looked dazed. Some looked sick. Bianca's hand was shaking. Rowan stared at his closed booklet like it might reopen and forgive him. The invigilators collected papers. Then the chief invigilator spoke again. Before candidates leave, remain seated. A murmur passed through the hall. 3 exam board officials entered. Not school staff. Exam board. Dark suits. Cold faces. My stomach tightened even though I knew it was coming. The chief official held a tablet. This examination included integrity screening. Several scripts have already triggered preliminary review for unauthorized material patterning. The room went dead silent. Bianca stopped breathing. The official continued. Students whose answers contain flag phrases from illicit prediction documents may be asked to provide statements. A girl behind me whispered. What? Someone else said. Illicit? Rowan turned slowly toward Bianca. Bianca's face had gone white. Not pale. White. Like the blood had left her all at once. The official began calling names. Bianca Valle. Her lips parted. Marcus Bell. A chair scraped. Daphne Kwan. Another gasp. Rowan Hall. My heart twisted once. Only once. Rowan closed his eyes. The list continued. 26 names. Almost the entire class. Not mine. Not Nari's. The called students were escorted to a separate room for statements. As Bianca passed my desk, she looked at me. Her eyes were wide, accusing, afraid, and for the first time silent. Chapter 5. The school collapsed before lunch. By noon, every hallway was full of whispers. By 1 o'clock, parents had arrived. By 2 o'clock, the academy had disabled the student forum because screenshots of the fake tips were spreading faster than administrators could delete them. The exam board announced that a leaked prediction file had circulated among multiple schools. It was fake. Worse, it was part of an active integrity trap after unauthorized tutoring groups claimed to have exam access. Students who used general topics were fine. Students who reproduced flag phrases were under review. Class A had swallowed the trap hole. I sat outside the inquiry room with Nari. She handed me a vending machine coffee. You look calm. I'm not. Good. Calm people are suspicious. I took the coffee. Across the hall, Bianca's mother was speaking sharply to the dean. Her father stood on the phone, saying words like defamation and academic future. Bianca sat between them crying. Rowan sat alone. That was new. In my last life, he never sat alone. He always stood beside Bianca. Now he stared at his hands, maybe remembering, maybe realizing, maybe finally asking himself why the file he trusted had cut him. The inquiry door opened. Miss Iris Lynn? I stood. Nari said, Be precise. Make them uncomfortable. Thank you. Inside, 3 officials sat at a table. 1 from the exam board. 1 from the academy, 1 legal compliance observer. The exam board official looked tired. Miss Lynn, you are class representative for Class A? Yes. Were you aware of the prediction file circulated last night? Yes. Did you download it? No. Did you use it? No. Did you warn classmates against it? I opened my folder and placed printed screenshots on the table. My group message. The official syllabus is on the exam portal. Use that. My private message to Bianca. I recommend using the official exam portal and verified teacher materials. Good luck tomorrow. The official read them. The academy representative shifted uncomfortably. Only these warnings? I looked at him. Yes. He frowned. As class representative, do you feel you could have done more? There it was. The old rope. Polite this time, but still a rope. In my last life, I had tried to answer defensively. This time, I folded my hands. No. The room paused. The official looked up. No. I directed students to the official syllabus and verified materials. I did not have authority to confiscate files, inspect phones, or force classmates to study correctly. The compliance observer's mouth twitched slightly. The academy representative looked displeased. But given your academic standing, they may have trusted your judgment if you were more forceful. In my experience, I said calmly, students who ignore official portals do not suddenly obey classmates they already resent. Silence. The exam board official looked at the screenshots again. Did Bianca Vale tell students the file was reliable? Yes. Did you know where she got it? No. Did she imply you were opposing the file out of personal hostility? I paused, then placed one more screenshot down. Bianca's message. I hope one day you trust people. And her group message. Please don't fight because of me. The official sighed. Thank you, Ms. Lin. I stood. Before I left, the academy representative said, You understand many of your classmates may face serious consequences. I looked at him. In my last life, that sentence would have filled me with guilt. Now I heard what it really meant. Can you carry some of this? Can you make the disaster softer? Can you become the responsible girl again? Yes, I said. They should have studied. Then I walked out. Chapter 6. Rowan waited near the stairwell. His eyes lifted when he saw me. Iris. I kept walking. He followed. Iris. Please. I stopped. The hallway was empty except for the muted chaos coming from the inquiry rooms. What? He looked like he had not slept in days, even though it had only been hours. The file was fake. Yes. You knew. Yes. He flinched. Why didn't you tell me? I stared at him. For a second, the world from my last life overlapped with this one. Rowan standing in inquiry hall. Rowan holding Bianca's bag. Rowan saying, If you knew, why didn't you protect everyone? Same eyes, same voice, same wound reopening under new skin. I did tell you. I said. You said it was fake, but you didn't explain. I said use the official portal. You know that's not the same. I laughed softly. He looked hurt. Good. Pain made people listen when kindness failed. Rowan. Last night when I said the file was fake. What did you say? His mouth tightened. I said you didn't know that. What did you say after Bianca cried? He looked away. Iris. What did you say? His voice dropped. I told you not to start drama. I nodded. So, why would I explain further to someone who had already decided the warning was drama? He had no answer. I stepped past him. He caught my sleeve, not my wrist. Maybe some instinct warned him not to touch too much. Bianca might be expelled from the scholarship track. I looked down at his hand until he released me, and his eyes widened. She's scared. So was I. You pass. This time. He frowned. What does that mean? I almost told him about the other life, about my mother crying over appeal fees, about dying with my integrity files still stained. But some truths were too heavy for people who had not earned them. It means I prepared. I said. He swallowed. I'm sorry. There it was. Fast this time. Earlier than last life. Still late. For what? He looked confused. For not listening. That's vague. Pain crossed his face. For assuming you were jealous. For thinking Bianca needed kindness and you needed correction. For asking you to save us after ignoring you. Honest. Better. Still not enough. I looked at the boy I once loved. Once Rowan knew every version of me. The girl with scraped knees. The girl who studied under streetlights. The girl who cried when her father left. Then Bianca arrived, and he forgot that I could be hurt unless I bled in a way he approved of. Thank you for apologizing, I said. Hope flickered. Poor foolish hope. Then I finished. But I don't need it anymore. His face fell. Iris. I walked away. This time he did not follow. Chapter 7. The official results came 1 week later. My score was first in the region. Nari placed third. Class A's ranking list looked like a battlefield. 26 scores were marked under integrity review. Some students were cleared with warnings because their answers only matched broad topics. Others received score penalties for reproduced flag phrasing. 5 were suspended from scholarship eligibility pending further investigation. Bianca was one of them. Rowan lost his Northbridge early offer. Not permanently, but enough. Enough to hurt. Enough to teach him that silence can be expensive when it is your own future burning. The academy held a disciplinary assembly. The principal spoke about integrity. independent study, and the danger of unauthorized exam predictions. Students looked at their shoes. Teachers looked ashamed. Bianca did not attend. After the assembly, people avoided me in the hallway. Not all. Some whispered thanks. One girl, Daphne, approached with red eyes. Iris. She said, "I'm sorry. You did warn us." I looked at her. She seemed sincere, also devastated. "Both could be true. That I hope your appeal works," I said. She nodded, crying harder. That was the strange thing about not taking responsibility for everyone. It did not make me cruel. It made me honest. I could feel sorry for Daphne. I could hope she recovered. I just did not have to climb into the hole with her. That afternoon, Bianca came to my dorm. I knew because the hallway went quiet before she knocked. Nari opened my door from inside my room. Like she owned the place. "Dio, you want me to get rid of her?" "No. Pity." I had phrases prepared. I stepped into the hallway. Bianca stood there in a white cardigan, face pale, hair loose around her shoulders. No audience. No to win. No parents. Just her. For the first time. She looked less like a class belle and more like a girl who had lost control of the mirror. "Iris," she whispered. I closed the door behind me. "What do you want?" Her hands clenched. "Did you know the file was a trap?" "Yes." She inhaled sharply. "And you didn't tell me. I told you to use the official portal." Her eyes filled. "That's not the same .so. I keep hearing." Her face twisted. "You wanted this .no." I said that I expected it. She flinched. For a moment, her softness cracked. "You always look down on me." "There it is." Her eyes widened. I tilted my head. The real voice. She shook. "I tried so hard to catch up to you. Everyone said you were disciplined, brilliant, reliable. I was just pretty, just nice. Do you know how suffocating that is? You stir the air. In another life, those words might have reached me. Now, they only sounded familiar. Envy dressed as injury. You gave the class fake tips." I said that I thought they were real because you wanted them to be. She looked away. That silence was answer enough. I continued, "You didn't verify them. You didn't check the portal. You used your popularity to make everyone trust you. Then, when I warned you, you turned my warning into a personality flaw." Tears slipped down her cheeks. That I was scared. So was everyone that I just wanted to win once. And now she covered her mouth that I might lose everything. I looked at her for a long time. This was the moment the old Iris would have softened. She would have said, "I'll help explain." She would have gone to the board. She would have made her own clean record messy so Bianca would not drown alone. But the old Iris had died under the weight of other people's consequences. "No," I said. Bianca blinked. "I didn't ask anything yet. You were going to." Her face reddened. "I just need you to tell the board I didn't mean to distribute cheating material." "Did you?" "I didn't know it was cheating material. You advertised it as true final exam tips." Her voice broke that I was trying to help .no. "You were trying to be worshipped." That hit her harder than I expected. She stepped back. For once, she had no immediate tears. Only shame. Good. Shame was quieter. "More useful. Dio, you hate me?" She whispered. I thought about it. The last life. The hearing. Rowan's disappointment. My mother's hospital bill. My own death. Then this life. Her pale face. Her trembling hands. Her collapsed .no. I said that I just won't protect you from yourself. She looked down. For a long time, neither of us spoke. Then she whispered, "I'm sorry. I did not ask if she meant it. I did not forgive her." I simply opened my door and went back inside. Nari looked up from my chair. "Well, she apologized. EW, despite everything." I laughed. Chapter 8 graduation came with blue banners and cautious applause. The fake tips scandal had not destroyed the whole class, but it had changed everyone. Some repeated exams. Some lost offers. Some learned humility against their will. Bianca's scholarship suspension became final for 1 year. She would have to reapply after completing an academic integrity course and retaking assessment under supervision. Rowan took a deferred place at a smaller university. He did not ask me to meet before graduation. I appreciated that. Then on the last day, I found a letter inside my locker. No perfume, no pastel paper, just plain white. Rowan's handwriting. Iris. I keep replaying that night. You said use the official portal. I treated it like arrogance because it came from you. If Bianca had said the same thing, I would have listened. That is the part one can't excuse. You were not cold. You were tired of being doubted. I'm sorry I made you responsible for my choices. I hope Northbridge gives you the life we once talked about. Rowan and I read it once, then folded it. Not forgiven, not hated, stored. Bianca did not leave a letter. She found me behind the auditorium after the ceremony. She wore no ribbon in her hair. Her eyes were red, but she did not cry that I'm retaking next year. She said that I heard. She nodded that I'm studying from the official syllabus this time. I almost smiled. Good. Her lips trembled. I used to think you were lucky because you always knew what to do. I didn't. You looked like you did. That's not the same. I know that now. A silence passed between us. Not friendship, not peace. Something less pretty, but more honest. She bowed her head that I won't ask you to forgive me. Good. A faint, broken laugh escaped her. You really don't soften anything that no good. She said, quietly, maybe I needed someone not to. Then she walked away. Iwatsutego. For the first time, I did not see the class bell. I saw a girl who had mistaken applause for safety and paid for it. That did not heal what she did, but it made the ending quieter. Northbridge University sent my final admission package in summer. Full scholarship, honors track, research placement. My mother held the letter with both hands. Then she cried into my shoulder. In my last life, she cried because my offer was gone. This time, she cried because it stayed. You did it, she whispered. I looked at the letter. My name, my score, my future. No. I said softly that I'm doing it because survival was not one exam. It was every day after. Northbridge was colder than St. Maribel. The buildings were taller. The library stayed open all night. Students argued over citations in the cafeteria. No one knew the fake tips scandal unless I told them. I did not. I became simply Iris Lynn, scholarship student, regional first, girl with color-coded notes and a habit of checking official portals twice. On the first night in my new dorm, rain tapped against the window. For a moment, memory returned. The group chat, the file, the laughter, the inquiry room, the old life where my warning was twisted into guilt. Then my phone buzzed. Nari. Reminder. Official orientation schedule updated. Check portal, because apparently society still needs portals to survive. I smiled. Already checked. She replied, disgustingly responsible. Proud of you. I placed the phone down and opened a new notebook. On the first page I wrote, a warning is not a chain. Then I paused, added another line, and I am not responsible for people who choose not to read it. Outside, the rain softened. In my last life, I tried to save everyone from the fake exam tips. They walked into collapse anyway and dragged my name down with them. In this life, I gave one clean warning. No begging, no screaming, no sacrificing my future to cushion their fall. They chose the shortcut. They chose the pretty lie. They chose the girl who made cheating sound like teamwork. And when the exam board called their names, I finally understood something. Sometimes the cruelest thing you can do to people who use you as a shield to step aside. Not push, not strike, just step aside and let them meet what they were running toward. The next morning, I walked across Northbridge campus beneath a clear sky. No fake tips in my bag. No class group chat buzzing with panic. No Rowan asking me to save him. No Bianca crying my warning into a weapon. Only my books, my name, my future, and the official syllabus printed cleanly in my folder.